Hi, Facebook. We're going live tonight because Liz Baudler is going to be doing their performance, and we got Ronan right here. He's going to be taping it for us, filming it for us. But we're just hanging out, waiting. Waiting to start. If you haven't been to the show yet, we can't wait for you to see it and possibly participate in the end if you would like. It's really fun. I participated twice already. It's very freeing, but it's optional.
You're guaranteed to look beautiful under these lights.
Yep.
It's true.
And then there's also a talk back after as well, which is really fun. You get to ask the performers questions, and they get to ask you questions. You don't have to answer. It's up to you. Got an audience member walking in right there. So thanks for coming. So I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Ronan. Ronan's going to do their thing. And I'm excited for y'all to see the performer tonight. Yay!
Yay! Hooray! It is me, and it has also been. Hi!
How many people?
3.
Oh, excellent. That
Yes.
seems standard.
Yep.
Seems pretty standard.
4.
Oh, hey, 4 people.
Hi.
For now.
Yes.
And then after the fact, however many are watching.
It's true. They tend to all be like different people.
That's fair.
Yes. Let's see if anything got added today. This is our gender board. I love this little cuttlefish over here. That's an old one. That's new. And it's Kevin! Hi.
You live already?
Yes.
For tonight's?
For tonight's portrait, yes.
Exciting.
Quite.
Good.
Are you on a horse?
But I don't know what the relevance is to people.
Oh, no, just that I caught the joke when she said
Great.
it.
And I didn't know.
No.
It's all good.
Oh, Gabby, did I tell you how I was yesterday? I was my touchstone is for my musician because I was feeling like
either way. Yes, and. I'm in Chicago. Yes, and. The improv cast. Improv culture is complicated.
Hi. Hi. Is it that time?
It's that time.
It's the time.
We don't have to like go off of Facebook, just mute it to me.
Okay. Cool.
I'll try to
Yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do. It is the time. Thank you so much.
Remove the gender from the wall. Degendering the wall.
Oh. And now we're going to have a seat. I'm actually going to sit in a seat this time. Usually I sit down on a corner. But no one sat in this seat, so I'm going to take it. And this lighting is not great, but soon we're about to start.
Hello, beautiful, intimate audience. Thank you so much for coming. So before every performance, we invite a local performer to do a portrait for you. So tonight, I'm really excited to announce that we have Liz Baudler performing What I Want From You Is Your Voice. Help me give her a round of applause.
When I think back to my childhood, I realize I wasn't completely solid on the plot of The Little Mermaid. It turns out there isn't one. Girl watches boy on boat, decides that she needs legs. Crab nearly gets boiled. Giant drag queen octopus expands to fill skyline. The part that plays on loop in my head, though, is the part where Ariel strikes her bargain with Ursula. What I want from you is, the sea witch purrs to the teenager, your voice. It's fair to say that people have always wanted my voice, and yet tried to put a sock in it at the same time. You're hearing my voice now. What word would you use for it? I've had this voice my entire life. A voice that can thrum with gravitas, bark over explosions, or squawk unexpectedly. Picture a 3-year-old with a wheat-colored bowl cut, chubby cheeks, dark hazel eyes, and this voice. This is the first inkling I have that I was different. Girls cooed, boys shouted, I made declarative statements. This is also when I got the idea that gender was a racket. I told people I wanted to be a boy as a child for 2 reasons. One, because it seemed like boys got to do more exciting things, like play with trains and get covered in mud. And because I did not have a girl's voice. For years, until I spouted round things from my chest, kids my own age would assume I was a boy because of short hair and the plummy diction. When I was a little older, adults often assumed I was an adult, because what 10-year-old has a whiskey and cigarettes voice without the cigarettes? There was a boy I met once, a year younger, with curly hair, and a weakness for curly hair. He misgendered me, as often happened at that age, once while I was actually wearing a dress, and did me the sweet courtesy of explaining why it had happened. It's your voice that did it. It sounds more like a boy's voice. He wasn't upset, just matter of fact, and at the time, I felt the same. Far blonde-haired, blue-eyed, muscular Italian lout who liked me only when he thought I was vulnerable to a kick between the legs, a weapon I'd accidentally deployed at him years later. I was an only child that didn't have many friends, and even when I did have friends, they lived so far away from me that I had to recreate them at home. Teachers constantly told my mother that I was talking to myself. She was always amazed, and they thought that she didn't know the child she lived with liked to burble away in one-sided dialogue, whether there was an audience there or not. The truth, never obviously acknowledged by any of them, was that back then, I was my own best conversationalist, and my own best listener, and thus I talked to myself. Notable moments in my vocal history. In the midst of volunteering for a week-long college lit festival while I had a cold, I got into an elevator on campus, and a nice Midwestern grandma asked me what the events were that day. Well, I began, and she stopped me right there. No, dear, she said, the event is your voice. When I was 7 and in the school choir, I had to convince the director for a name of the altos based on my speaking voice that I could in fact hit the higher melodies. To do this, I had to stand next to her while she played the piano for warm-ups and sing into her ear. 2 years later, I would stand in the living room trying to match John Denver's soaring tones. I gave up soprano when I realized my favorite singers were all men. When I first heard Sonny and Cher duet, I couldn't tell who was the man. During my mandatory attempt at becoming a suburban Catholic, I was picked to do a reading in front of the entire church. I never was quite sure if this was because of my good behavior, my superior reading comprehension, or the fact that the assistant director of the educational program thought that my 10-year-old voice was, and I quote, sultry. I was absolutely delighted that my first girlfriend, a long-haired, ardent wearer of peasant tops, backless sandals, and denim skirts, somehow still managed to have a deeper voice than me. We also called her voice sultry. All of the times I've been out holding a penguin skull or standing in front of a submarine and children have asked, why is your voice so weird? Which crystallized in the time a woman decided to tell me about her entire family's experience with speech therapy after I finished a zoo chat in front of the eagle exhibit. A friend recently tried to describe me to a person who she knew had met me in passing but couldn't quite place me. She sounds like a 14-year-old boy on the edge of puberty, my friend said. And lo and behold, that did it. My identity was suddenly clear. I don't really sound like that, do I? I asked my girlfriend later that night. She looked thoughtful for a moment. No, you totally sound like that. However, my preferred auditory analogy comes from the time when I was transcribing an interview I did with a British Holocaust scholar, and as I typed, it became increasingly obvious that I am a dead ringer for Julia Child on speed. There's lots of occasions and meetings for voice, and the other place my voice stood out was in my writing. I was a 14-year-old who thought it was appropriate to make a parenthetical comment about incest in my English paper. The year before, when I picked up Catcher in the Rye, when I thumbed through the first pages of my first Vonnegut novel, I heard an affirmation of power. It was okay to dissect in the moment, yet simultaneously entertain. You could be as detailed, as dry as you want, and the gift of gab was a thing that appealed to people. I feel like I need to apologize for these formative influences being men, but it took me years to find women who wrote with such verve. Following strong voices leads you to interesting places. You get Vonnegut and Audre Lorde. You also get Ayn Rand and Donald Trump. You also get a lot of people who filter themselves away from you, citing your lack of a filter. But a third of the English teachers I ever had didn't know what to do with me, and the other 2/3 were either convinced I was a teenage literary genius or a belligerent mental case. In an act of epic revenge directed at the latter third, I now write book reviews for money. Towards the end of high school, I found Columbia College, and they let me do nothing but write for 4 years. And I discovered that voice was really all I had going for me. I can make people listen to me, but where's the content? Where's the beauty? The assets I have are not enough, and I need to find more capital before I can even get a mortgage. I'm not much for beauty, I prefer comfort. I prefer depth to surface. Yet I keep finding myself drawn to places and people where voices are on display. I'm dating a folk singer, a woman whose voice spreads meaning through the simplest words the way ink trails off in water. She has been the person to finally convince me that I can't actually sing. I've been an uneasy piece with that, because in my head, I can still seduce the people with song the way she seduced me. I've been talking to people for years. I give tours on a submarine, and I think my voice was the reason they hired me. Oh, you'll be great, they said on my first day of training. You know, low pitches travel further. I can bellow like a drill sergeant and snap people's heads away from their phones. I don't whine or go sing-songy. I I think people are afraid of me in that shadowy war memorial, and I like it. The first thing my current boss in the submarine said to me, she too has a low-pitched voice and an elaborate manner of speaking, was, "We women with low voices have to stick together." How awkward, I thought then, but I get it now. We were forced to look to the men who reverberate confidence and character and say whatever they want when they want it. We looked to the men because people have been threatening to place us there for years. A friend sent me Nina Simone singing Pirate Jenny because it reminded him of me, day in, day out, reciting the same words about space, death, and success. And what I heard the most in that song is a woman who's underappreciated. The men can never guess to who they're talking. But she's got power, damn it, and the power is in her voice. Patti Smith's register dropped around the time she lost her husband, yet you can still hear her underpin Stipe's insecure lilt in R.E.M's E-Bow the Letter, with rushing familiarity. And when you sing Because the Night in the same beige auditorium where she stands, she can carry you all with her low, patient chant. Melissa Etheridge and Joan Armatrading can tell me all they want about loving two people at the same time, and I will believe them because they sound like me. I most believe a woman named Jessica Harper, who is a psychotherapist now somewhere in the city. But for a brief moment, she was the older, wiser Janet in Shock Treatment, the sequel to Rocky Horror. This mess of a movie somehow produced my favorite song about love. Every time someone has ever professed their love to me, I'm tempted to respond, "Don't tell me you love me. How am I supposed to know what that means?" When I was a child, no one ever played me a song and said, "This woman sounds like you." They hid the deep-voiced, sultry women from me, because somehow these women went about womanhood wrong, and I was about to do the same. These women couldn't be told what to do and wouldn't shut up, and everyone knew who they were when they walked into a room. If you trust the people that sound like you, but no one ever does, who do you trust? As a small child, I learned to trust myself, because no one else knew who or what I was. Simply put, I've learned, perhaps to a fault, to love the sound of my own voice.
Hi, Facebook. So I just wanted to clarify that that's not the show. That's just the pre-show of the show, and only for one night. Hi, are you here for transformation? Okay, great. So this is what I do in box office. I tell people to be quiet. Be quiet. Shh. Even though there are signs up, people don't pay attention. So I'm like, shh, please, there's a show happening. You have to be quiet. And then I also put up signs because it's very confusing. So there's signs when you come to the show that say which way to go. And you can either go from the stairs or on the third floor, or you can take the elevator which has some creepy clowns. I personally like clowns, but if you're not a fan of clowns, then I would suggest just walking up the stairs. So you just saw one of the performances for the pre-performances for Transformation. I'm gonna walk down the hallway now and show you what my box office looks like, and then I'm gonna say goodbye. You're gonna hear a little bit of the show, but I don't want you to hear all of it because it'll give it away. I'm trying to be very quiet. Can you hear me? Okay. So this is our box office. Can you hear some of the show? This is where the bathroom is. See all the art. What are you looking for?
That's what was happening tonight, please.
Oh, okay. So this is the bathroom that we go to for our show. Whichever every bathroom should say, but does not. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you actually come out to see the show because even though we're showing you the pre-show, because we want our shows to be accessible, the pre-show is nothing like the actual show. The show is beautiful and something that you will never see if you do not come see it. It will never happen again. So make sure to take some time and look at the dates that we have on the event for Transformation. We run Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8 o'clock and Sunday at 7. And I hope to see you very soon. Bye, Facebook.